Greetings from London. This is Mariam Sharif, and welcome to the Star Moguls podcast. This is a special episode, the first one of the year, and this is in conjunction with Reetikha Chaudhary. She is a business coach and property investor, and her podcast is called Asian Women Breaking the Norm. So in conjunction with that, we are going to set you up for 2022. We're going to set those goals and we are going to achieve those goals. So welcome, Reetikha.
Thank you so much, Mariam. And I am so glad to have this conversation, a joint collaboration of strength of Asian women, joining together to uplift and motivate more Asian women to kind of just buckle up and say, this is going to be my year. This is going to be the best year of my life. And just setting that platform right from the beginning.
Absolutely. This year, I feel it's our year. I feel women should conquer this year. And with launching the International Women's Society here in London again, after 2 years of having the pandemic, I think we need to conquer it. I think we believe we should. And so these are the next few steps that we believe that will help each and every woman achieve those goals that they've set in this year. So let's start off with personal goals, because I feel life and business is personal. Everything I do is personal. So let's look at achieving kind of personal goals. What is more, what is intimate to you? What do you want to do?
Absolutely. And Mariam, I really like that fact that you've brought up, because being a business coach myself, sometimes when I coach clients and they have their business goals and they come with the perspective of me giving them a magic mantra for their business, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to how they look at life, what's their mindset, what beliefs they're holding in their personal life, how they look at creating that dream lifestyle, what is the reason why they want to do the business, and it all boils down to their personal goals and their personal life. So yeah, well said.
Exactly. And I think that you've hit a great point, and this is what I think, and every mentor, every coach says this, and I say this to my clients: what is the why? Why is it that you're doing something? Because until you identify those whys, you can't move forward. So you really have to identify and be very clear on those whys.
Absolutely. And I think one thing I've seen in most successful people, one thing common that I've seen is that they're very clear on what they want to achieve, one, and why they want to achieve what they want to achieve. So these are the key points we're going to focus on today, is about clarifying what is it that you want to achieve, and also not just what you want to achieve, but why is it? What is this thing, that business goal, that personal goal, what is that going to make you feel? That's what we're going to focus on today.
Absolutely. So let's go for it. Ladies, get your pens out, get your papers out, write this down, because you will be using this for the rest of the year. And if we can concrete this in your mind for January, you will be able to filter this throughout the whole of the year. And you can come back to this and refresh it. And actually, in fact, I say not even doing every quarter, but you should be looking at it on a monthly, weekly, daily basis.
Absolutely. So starting with, what are the most important things you want to make happen in your business or life this year? So write down what are the most important things that you want to make happen this year that is a must for you to achieve.
Yeah. So do you want to give an example, Reetikha, so we can kind of help the ladies give some examples of maybe what we're doing, or some examples?
Absolutely.
That you can share?
I mean, I can share my journey a little bit here without taking a lot of time. When I came to UK about 10 years ago, I had this really deep desire of venturing into property, right? And I was a journalist. I was a professional journalist writing for national newspapers in India. And I came here, I did try my luck here and there. And then I gave myself an excuse that there's a lot of racism. I don't think I can get into journalism, just because I was so inclined towards doing property, because my father was an investor and my father-in-law was a property investor. And I thought, you know what, I just want to do property. So I joined my father-in-law in his business. And at that time, I just knew that I wanted to do property. My clarity of vision was just that. So I achieved that. And today, I have a different goal, I have a different level of goal in property and a different vision where I have achieved, I've done a few developments, I've basically have a portfolio of property now, and now I'm like, what's next? I really want to build flats, I really want to do this, and now I'm focusing on that. But if I don't know, if my focus didn't change, and it changes, right? It has to grow and evolve. Many of us get stuck in this whole drama of, oh, but I had that vision and now it can't change to this. If it changes, it changes. Just go with the flow. Just carry on understanding your why, and go along with it. Just lead with your heart and you'll get there.
Yeah. So two things I want to point out to the ladies. That first, you must write down your goals, because if you have them in your head, they're just thoughts and they're just dreams. But to make them reality, you actually have to write them down. And that actually creates a different state in your mind, that actually neurologically, that it actually, it's a different wavelength, right? So you have to write things down. And secondly, life is always about growth and evolving. So something that you want to achieve, let's just say you want to do something in 2022. It doesn't mean that it has to be done this year, but we evolve and grow. It may be that it could take longer or it could take a shorter time, but you have to set them in order to achieve them. Like for my example, let me just share that. So I did a whole career change. I was a teacher. I was an IT teacher in the prison service. I worked for local government, evaluating software and helping in education. So I always have an educational background. And when my father passed away, I wanted to do something completely different. And I always had the desire to be a makeup artist or do something in style or fashion. So we packed up our bags and we went to London, studied interior decoration from the Chelsea School of Art and Design, and styling and fashion, because I wanted to do as much as I could. And they both helped me. But obviously my career led to, fashion styling, first image consultancy with a mentoring organization, and helping others, helping women style for red carpet, corporates, and being on the radio for the BBC Asian Network. Start off with one and really be so focused and so dedicated and committed to that one goal that other opportunities will come about. But let's put the goals down first and what you really want to do.
Absolutely, Mariam. I really want to focus on this fact. You said you were a prison officer when you were back in UK, right?
Yeah.
From being a prison
officer.
I
was a teacher, but I actually got into the prison service because I got headhunted for the role. So people say, oh, why did you work for the prison? Well, I actually worked for the college, but my role was actually at the prison service. And I only went there for an hour. I spent a half the day there. I thought, well, let's just see what the prison service is like. It's one of my best jobs, Reetikha, my best jobs.
I can imagine that. And I am trying to emphasize here is that from being there to going to Dubai and setting up a whole new world, and then into the style market of styling, all that you picked up. Was there any little voices? Because I'm trying to show people how they can fall into the trap of, I am educated in this stream, I'm an engineer, I'm a CA, I'm an accountant, I'm a solicitor. Oh, but I want to do this now. And they never get to say, all right, I might be qualified this, that, and the other, but I can still pursue this in my life, right? Your passion, for example.
Yeah. So I think because I'm a creative and I believe that I'm always in this mode of creativity. My father taught me that you have to keep up with the times, otherwise you're going to get left behind. And so in my head, I've always been a forever student. I've always had this mode of creativity where I'm always learning and growing. But I'm never attached to my scenario at that time. I'm very opportunistic. So I look at opportunities and think, okay, how can this advance? If there's people said moving to Dubai and not having any friends, no family, that was scary. And I was like, no, that's exciting. For me, that was excitement and a challenge and a new chapter. So it really, you have to change your perspective about things. You have to, you have to be brave and to take opportunity.
Absolutely. And can you pinpoint a few beliefs that you had that can help the listeners today to change or switch something in their mindset, when they are feeling stuck?
I think changing your mindset and looking at it from a different perspective and switch your mind from having it become about yourself, but about the audience that you'll serve. So if you switch that and say that you're there to serve and you're living your purpose, rather than it's about me being on camera and you're so self-conscious, then you shift your perspective and you're going from, you're talking about your purpose and you're talking about the love for people and there to serve.
And I think it's all connected to the reason why is the growth for you. And I think just having why as growth is enough. Sometimes we do get overstuck, and being a coach, I can easily tell you that many people say, I don't know my why. And it's not important to know exactly or put your finger on that one thing. It's enough if you feel like growth. Say, for example, I think for you and for me, both of us thrive on growth, right? So it's enough. If you feel growth is your why, that's enough. And I've also heard many speakers talking on this topic of why, and I think what they all say is that as you progress each step at a time, like a small goal at a time, you will have more clarity. But as long as you know, you've measured what you're going to do in the long term, what steps are you going to take to get there? And even if that means a change of direction right in the middle of it, you'll get more clarity as you get there. The key is to stay in momentum, to do something.
Momentum and exactly to have that kind of, I felt like when you walk that you should feel the ground. So, and that really means being present. So being present in that moment in time, because literally when you're thinking about the past or the future, you're really not present. You've got to be absolutely present, I think, in everything you do, like totally focused and committed. Otherwise, don't do it. For me, I'm all about the heart. I don't feel it, I can't do it. And so you really have to come with full love of what you do. Excuse me. So you've got to honor that goal and honor your commitment to it.
Absolutely. And what really helps with that, with keeping your focus, is if you pre-decide what your rewards are going to be for that thing. Obviously, every journey isn't a cakewalk. Even if you are following your passion, it's not going to be a cakewalk. If you are trying to leave your job and follow your passion, don't be under any wrong impression that it's going to be a cakewalk, it's going to be easy. It's not, right? Take time off, go on holiday, spend time with your family, go watch a movie, whatever that is in your life. So reward yourself at every step. So when you set your goals, whether you achieve them or you've achieved them partly, reward yourself.
For me, I feel that being brave and knowing my own self, like understanding who I am and understanding why I'm doing it, is the greatest power. Because when I understand thyself and understand thy style, you know, Socrates said it the best. So you then understand why you're going to do something. So until you understand who you are first, you're really not going to understand why you can't help others, right? Like you have to be completely whole yourself. I mean, it's a journey. You can't be completely linear in your journey, but at least understand the basics of why you're doing it, who you're helping, and what are you going to achieve.
I really like what you've just stated about understanding thyself. So I know you when you do your styling, that's the key to it. Not just to look good for the world, but to understand yourself and wear and dress up accordingly. So how do you tell your clients about understanding themselves before they style?
Well, you first have to understand yourself and then understand your audience, like what occasion and what is the purpose of that event, right? So what are you trying to convey? What is the message that you're trying to communicate? You yourself are this big energy force. And so it's not literally putting on clothes, it's putting on confidence. It's your armor for the day, but you are conveying with your colors, with your textures, with your speech, with your talk, that how you want to be perceived in the world. And so you really have to look at your environment. You have to look about positioning, about how to communicate. I find that with coaching, what happens is you have a transformation that happens maybe on the inside. You might be wearing something on the outside, a great new lipstick or a colorful blouse, but there's a transformation that happens on the inside that is like a dopamine hit, and that you can't deny, because coaching and maybe understanding yourself can take some time. It's a lengthy process.
It's a journey.
But it's a journey. And so don't be hard on yourself. But I feel that if you respect yourself and you are presentable to the world, and you are saying, look, I'm relevant, I stand for something, these are my values, then what happens is that you have this kind of inner strength, this inner self-confidence that appears, and people can't deny that. When they look good, they feel fabulous. And most of my clients, they walk down the runway. They don't walk down the street. They're walking on the red carpet every single day. And that's the difference.
It's so important to sit down, take some time off from all of these business goals and other goals, and really understand your self-worth, your self-concept, because that's the place from which you will set yourself your goals, right? And many people have had hard times, just like you and me, in their life, and then they start to look at themselves as lower than other people they see on Facebook, on Instagram, say, for example, and from that position of self-concept, they start setting themselves smaller goals than what they really deserve. So before you set up goals, I think the concept of understanding who you are, what is your value, what you're worth, and what you really deserve in your life is really key, right? And I give this example to most of my mentees, is that if you take a £100 note, one note, you've kind of got it in your hand and you forgot about it, you thought it was paper, you've crumpled it, and now it's in your jacket pocket and it's gone there and it's stayed there, and now it's wet because you put a wet napkin with it. You take it out, one note is fine and crisp and the other note is crumpled, you'll still be the same currency in the market, isn't it? It's still
the same value.
Same value. So if life has been hard on you and you've been slapped left, right, and center because of the challenges of life, doesn't change your value. You still need to set up the same goals. You still deserve the best for you, right? It's how you judge yourself up to it.
And I think this is where the difference is, that if I have a difficulty or challenge, I'm not really looking at anybody else. I'm really looking at my own self, that I don't want to be in the same place that I was last year, that I am going to be in this year, right? Or the years ahead. So I don't really look at that. For me, what's important is my self-image. And we have an image that we perceive to the world, but we also have an image that we perceive inside, right? What is our self-image? And my self-image is like a warrior, right? It's really valorous. Like, it's one of my favorite words. It's valorous, it's courageous. So that is intrinsic, and it comes from childhood, actually. We have such great a foundation of my self-image, that if I am the heaviest, but I'm the most confident this year. I'm working on my health goals, by the way, but it really is a self-image that you create. What is the inside? What are you talking to in the inside that is perceived on the outside?
Absolutely. The story that you're telling yourself about yourself.
The story you're telling yourself. So ladies, we're going to change the story, that we change ourselves. So if you're saying that you're fat, you're ugly, or you can't do this, I want you to change your language. I want you to completely change the way you talk about yourself. I don't want you to talk about anything negative, because the vocabulary that we use, my father taught me this, never ever to say a bad word, like not to say bad about yourself. So that actually starts to make other things possible and make things happen.
If you are feeling low, set yourself some mantra for the year or for
let's talk about affirmations, actually. Let's talk about affirmations, Reetikha. What do you think about affirmations, and should everybody have one? And what's your favorite one?
My favorite one right now is that I am enough, right? And it's been there. It was there last year, but I think I'm changing it this year to, I can do it. I will. Watch me. This is what I say to myself, standing in the mirror, and that gives me the strength in low times when I'm feeling a it down, and all of that. I say I can and I will. Watch me. No matter how I'm looking at myself right now, these words lift me up. Every word has an energy, Mariam, and
Yes,
I really want people to
absolutely.
understand.
Yeah.
I had a rubbish day today. Instantly you're gonna feel that feeling of being rubbish. Oh my God, yes, my day was challenging. That gives you a very different feeling. So every word has an energy. So why not start thinking, if you say, do this little experiment with yourself. If you say a word, if I throw a word at you, just think of the images that are coming to your mind instantly with that word, like say
Yes.
challenge, poor, rich. What's the image that you associate with? Because you have a life journey, and in this life journey, each word has an experience, and each experience has a visual in your mind.
Yes.
So that plays even today, and the same word could give different energy to different people. So don't go by, oh, this is a good word, I'm going to use that good word might have a negative experience with you. So choose your words, choose your own mantra. I never go by these generic affirmations that are given on YouTube, because what works for one person might not work for you.
Yeah,
right?
it has to resonate, and it has to resonate in your heart, and you really have to believe it, because sometimes we say things, and we roll them off, but we have to kind of attach the emotion that is with those words, right? You can't just have words, you have to attach an emotion with the word, so it actually resonates and penetrates in your heart, rather than just saying it as vocabulary and running them off every morning in the mirror. That's just not what I do. Everything that you do has to be done and felt, right? That's for me, like 100%, right? You have to feed yourself your own good words.
Absolutely. And if you still don't trust in anything that we are saying, try it out yourself. I really encourage you.
Absolutely. You have to believe us, because we've done it. We've done it. We've been there. We've changed our lives around. When I look at my life and how I've changed those habits, like if I can do it, anybody can do it. I've went from teaching to fashion, associated with such amazing VIP, elite, affluent entrepreneurs, which I love. Yeah. And that rubs off to you, because energy is contagious, right?
Your goal. Another very key thing is to choose who you're going to surround yourself this year with.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Reetikha.
You, as much as you think that there are some people you can't escape in your life, you're like your own family, but you can create a separate community away from them, which is going to motivate you, whether that's a group of masterminding in your field, like I am a part of property masterminds. And if anything comes up, low time, good time, bad time, I have people to bounce off the energy from, right? So who are you going to surround yourself? Who are the people who are going to help you achieve your goal in the right manner, by keeping you motivated, by helping you talk out your stresses, by guiding you in the right direction? So this is a very key goal. If you haven't done that so far, because nobody's told you that, I'm telling you, none of this is going to be possible if you do not surround yourself with the right people.
Some people have children, some people are carers. I'm a single carer. I look after my mother, and she was in hospital in this last 2 weeks before Christmas. And so I have such a great community of people and friendships that they don't allow me to fail. One, I said to a friend of mine, I said, oh, I'm feeling a little bit fat. I was like, oh, I'm not. She goes, don't say that. She corrected me straight away. And I actually thought to myself, why did I even say that? So I loved that. The second thing is they keep you motivated, right? So I've got a friend who's also a coach, and she will never let me fail. She'll say, don't you know who you are? Like, snap out of it, woman. And then you've got to have somebody that you're accountable to, or that will put you straight, and they'll put you back and into your power again. And I think that's really important, to allowing nobody to fail, right? You can be down for a little while, but make yourself get up again. Like, don't spend too much time, because things become Everest, in my opinion, when they become so huge that you can't deal with them. So try and get them to the small mini Everest where you can tackle and squash, and then get back up again. Because if you allow it to brew, if you allow it to manifest and simmer away, it doesn't do any good.
If you in your mind know that you haven't achieved your goal this quarter, this month, this week, then
Yeah.
you're just going to have to ask yourself a few questions like, what stopped me? What can I do differently? And what have I learned from this experience, right? So
Yeah.
if you just start treating every non-achievement, I rather call it than failure, as a learning, you know, that changes the whole thing. There is no failure. There is only learning. So I'm saying that's fine. What have I done so far? What can I do differently? What have I learned from what
Yeah.
I have done so far? So taking that lesson on board and carry on my momentum, that's what's going to ultimately going to get me to my goal. And time is so relative, isn't it? We just get so bound by the time of you know, oh my god, this year and that year. But it's all about, you never know when that exponential growth is going to happen, because you've been in momentum all this while. You know,
Yeah.
many people stay in small sections of growth and they continue on that spiral, but your journey could be like this, right? So everybody's journey is different. If somebody's done that, they started after you but they achieved more, doesn't mean that the journey is going to be like that for the rest of the time. What are you doing is important, and how are you going to carry on your momentum is important.
The last point is that I think people are so hard to judge themselves, and they fall into this comparison of you know, and looking at the world and then comparing themselves. And then this word that when I came back from Dubai, people were talking about was imposter syndrome, right? And I was like, "Oh, imposter syndrome," and somebody described it to me, and I nearly laughed out loud. Like I was like, imposter syndrome, what the hell is that? Because in my world, my father has taught me, you do something, you work hard, you focus, you skill up, you do whatever you need to do, and you give your 100%. What is this imposter syndrome? Of course it may exist, but it doesn't exist to me. I deny it. I don't want it. I'm going to brush it away. I don't like anybody using it. There's no such thing. Practice makes perfect. We were just talking about camera and how to present on camera just before before we started recording. And really, the more you speak, the more you know what you want to say in the world. How you portray yourself on camera, how you demonstrate in the world is exactly by practice. You're practicing who you are, right? You're becoming. It is the becoming that is more important than just the being, right? The doing and the becoming. So we've got to put things into action. Don't just simmer on it. Don't just listen to this conversation and think, yeah, great conversation. I want you to start to do something, right? That was my mantra, always do something. Do something differently that you did before. Learn something. Do something every single day that will enhance your knowledge, your expertise, your network, and build a community that or create one or join one. And I hope that you can join ours. Actually, a great bunch of professionals that are CEOs and entrepreneurs and creatives, and we all learn from each other.
And it's not about where we are or what we do, or you know, Mariam, you're a stylist, or Ritika, you're into property, or you're a coach, but I'm not. It's about sharing each other's energy, uplifting each other, you know, removing those blocks. So if I ask you, you know, what will stop you from achieving your goal, and I can then give you 5 reasons what you can do to achieve your goal. You know, I don't need to know your industry. We don't need to be experts in each other's industry. All we need to be experts in is how to keep our energy high and how to help keep each other's energy high in that community.
You know what the best thing is? That when my parents used to say that 1 and 1 is 11, right? When you join forces and when you have that support, your problem is halved, right? Like, so a problem shared is a problem halved, for sure, right? You want to air something that is so great in your mind, but actually is miney, it's tiny, it's miney, it's tiny. So when you say it out aloud, you think, what am I even saying, right? So you need to kind of air and get those thoughts out. And secondly, you just have this like you said, this energy field around you, right? Like where you are not allowed to fail. You won't be able to fail. So
absolutely. No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And sometimes people don't join forces, and I'm talking out of personal experience. Say we do joint ventures in our business, and people say, but why should I share my profit? But they don't understand that they're increasing their overall magnitude and energy and forces.
Yeah.
And yes, they're sharing their profits, but they're also sharing the risk and reducing that. And they're also sharing their problem. As you said, it gets halved.
Yeah.
And you can use that energy that you would have used alone to handle this big problem into getting 4 or 5 more things in your life going, right? And we have a very tunnel vision about joint venturing or masterminding or sharing our profits.
I think again it's wording again, and it's kind of, again, we're going to look at reprogramming our brain, right? What we've learned and what we know is not good, or we need to kind of declutter or filter through the things that are serving us and that aren't. And I think if you look at it from the point of view of investment, like you're investing not in only in yourself, but in your future, right? The opportunities that will come from that investment within that group or within that knowledge. For us, we have retreats, we have lives, we're sharing knowledge. We have communities where we are actually going to be supporting each other. And there's no hierarchy. There's no one that is bigger or better than anyone. We are all there to help and support each other. And that's the most amazing. And that's what women do best. We support and we enhance, and we don't let anybody fail.
See each other grow, and even if we
I
don't,
love it. I absolutely love it when someone does good, or they take something and they magnify it. Or I am so happy. Amazing billionaire friendships, like they have billionaire hearts and they do so well. And I love that. I have people from all walks of life that I've styled or I interacted with or I have created friendships with. And that is the beauty of life, because life is all about relationships and creating quality relationships.
Absolutely. So Mariam, when are we launching the International Women's Society?
We're launching it in February, so you can join in February in the first week, and we're going to be doing introductory lives, some meetups. You can ask us anything in the group. You'll have a community of people that you can share openly, without judgment and without any reservation. So you can speak openly about your ideas and your thoughts, and we are there to help each other. And if I can't help or Reetikha can't help, somebody else in the group can.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. So do people need to join us on a Facebook group before, just knowing the process step by step?
Yeah, I think I'll give a little introduction about the International Women's Society and how they can join. We're just finishing off some final touches at the moment, and so hopefully they can join and gain membership after that.
Absolutely. Watch out, Mariam, on her social media. Watch out, for our another joint lives that we will be doing to promote and to tell people how they can be a part of this community, how they can help each other grow. And I'm sure that, we
need to promote more Asian women, South Asian, Arab women, brown women, Desi women, and I don't see many of them. I see all these groups of women that are, and I think we need to be our own role models, and we need to help everybody else become their role models in their life.
Absolutely. I think
that's what was missing, and especially that I find.
And I really want to emphasize here why that is the case, because we as Asian women have been brought up with very different mindsets. Yes, we are told to be, slick and smart and, go and achieve, but still at some level of mindset that's been given to us is that we are a little bit lesser than the male counterparts. And hence why I address this in Asian Women Breaking the Norms, because I feel like, I want to get Asian women to come out and speak and be there, because they're doing everything, they're achieving everything, but they're still, we were talking about self-worth, Mariam, they're still really playing small. They're not coming out, they're not sharing their experiences. So, whether it's coming on a podcast and talking on Asian women, or whether it's joining International Women's Society, the aim here is ultimately to provide a safe space for all of these Asian women like us, Mariam.
Yeah, and it
comes from a feeling of, we want to see all of us grow.
Yes.
We want to support
Absolutely.
each one of us in that journey.
Absolutely. And that is the aim of this year, to help as many women come together and start whatever they want to do. Maybe it is to get healthier. Maybe it is to start a business. Maybe it is to present on camera. Maybe it is to have a new image for themselves. And I think you should. Every chapter and every year deserves a new image, because it's a new identity. You're not going to level up, you're going to style up for this year.
I like that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, look out. Stay tuned. We will put our links, social media links, in the description for the podcast. So check out those links. Be a part of it. See, look out for any new updates that might come from either myself or Mariam, who's the master brain behind the International Women's Society.
I am the host. I am the founder, but everybody is equal. Please, I don't wanted to say that again, that so I might be the founder, but it is everybody that makes the community.
Absolutely. But somebody has to take the initiative. So here you go, take the credit. But I'm gonna sign off here and say we've spoken about goals. We've spoken about today about what can hold you back from achieving these goals. We've spoken about self-worth today. How do you judge yourself? What story are you telling yourself about yourself? And how we can use affirmations and some strong words to come over those.
Yes.
How we can surround ourselves with really good, positive, energetically connected people, and hence we're providing you this platform that we've just mentioned. So yeah, are you really going to do this? I'm sure you're inspired, but the question that I'm going to leave you with is, are you really going to do something about it, or are you going to carry on doing the same thing? Because if you do carry on doing the same thing, you're going to carry on receiving the same results.
Getting the same results, exactly. I think I would like to leave the audience with one mantra that I have, because I didn't say it, but I think it's a game changer. And I think that even though I have dream big on my wall, I actually think that in 2022, you should dream bigger, not just dream big, but to dream bigger. So, like you said, we think small, we don't allow ourselves to shine. But if you start to think bigger, that's where your perspective changes.
Absolutely. I love it. I am completely right now high up there.
We're motivated. I hope the audience is motivated. I hope that you can write those goals down, set them, achieve them, and check in with us at the society, because we're not going to let you fail. So if you've written down those goals, we're going to go through them, and you're going to be accountable. We're going to hear what you've written down, and we're going to make sure that you achieve them. Absolutely. Or some of them, at least.
Absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe and listen to the podcast. The other episodes are brilliant too. Mariam's have way more episodes than I have on Asian women yet, but I am still in my momentum. So I hope, and I'll leave you with this. Thank you so much for listening.
Have a great year, everyone, and look forward to seeing you very soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.